Time. Mark, 15 seconds until airtime.
Oregon is going to the Final Four.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Oregon Sports Network.
And Oregon is going to play in the national championship game.
It's time for Tip-Off Tuesday.
There's no magic formula.
Eric Williams, three, good at the shot clock buzzer. Young all the way to the basket with two hands.
We're going to have to get ready for everything.
Ducks get it to Richardson. His three is good.
And one of the things that I'm really proud of next game attitude.
Sedona Prince follows, scores, and is fouled. Harry steps into a long three and hits it. Solidly lay it in. Ducks take the lead.
Down the stretch, we made the plays, and that's what a good team's got to do.
This is Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield. Let's talk Oregon Ducks basketball. From the Country Financial Studio, alongside Terry Johns, here's Joey Mack.
Thank you. It's a busy week of Oregon basketball across the Oregon Sports Network and Oregon Athletics because the women are going to play a non-conference game against UCLA tomorrow. Men's basketball coming off a much-needed win against Washington State last night. They got that makeup game at home, and that's after what was a tough loss to Cal. Look, Oregon men's basketball squarely on the bubble. If you want to pick one team that is the most bubble team in the country right now, it's probably the Ducks. You know what? That just means it's going to be a stressful but fun next few weeks. So the Oregon men coming off that loss to Cal, but then they got the win against Washington State. And now the Oregon women, well, it's a tough homestand here for 3 games.
Well, we feel like they've lost 3 games in a row, where actually they won 2 out of their last 3.
Right.
But the last one against Oregon State at home, 8,404 in the stands. And, yeah, it just didn't happen. And they didn't play well. They feel badly about that. Now, some of the fans overreacting on social media, they are in second place fans. Just a reminder that they're still doing okay. 5 games left, 4 are conference games. And, of course, Stanford, number 2, defending national champion at Matthew Knight Arena, coming up on Sunday afternoon. But tomorrow, non-conference against UCLA. And can say, yeah, we would have won it anyway, right? I mean, that's what you want to do. Right. That will count, by the way. We say non-conference, so it won't count in the conference. It will count in overall and in the net. It will count. So it's worth playing. Coach, I just came from practice. Asked one of the players, do you guys like playing 3 games in a row? Said, yeah, we'd rather play than practice. So there you go. I mean, I think most players are like that, aren't you?
Yeah, Coach Altman always jokes about that on the men's side. Like, yeah, it's, on the men's side, they're going to play 5 games in 10 days.
Yep.
And it's like, guys want to practice. Yeah, they do, but they want to play.
Yeah.
Right? I get it.
It is. So hopefully big crowd tomorrow. I know at 4 o'clock tomorrow.
Happy hour.
What is it, 2 for $6?
Happy hour.
Exactly. I mean, you can get off a little bit early.
Business meeting at Matthew Knight Arena. I'll send you all a calendar invite.
That's right. Come on. Hopefully a big crowd and Duck fans show up big. Cal, it's Pink Out, K-Out, breast cancer awareness on Friday night at 7. Hopefully y'all come there, wear your pink. And then 1 o'clock on Sunday against Stanford.
And looking forward to Oregon men's basketball now hitting the road. Ducks are taking on Arizona State Thursday, 7 o'clock local time, 6 o'clock Pacific time. You got to remember that. So for any fans that are maybe making that trip out there, it does adjust a little bit. And I got to tell you, if there's one time change and if there's one state that we go to where I always mess this up, it's Arizona.
Yeah.
Because they don't do the daylight savings adjust.
Right.
Anyway, 6 o'clock Pacific time, Oregon taking on Arizona State on Thursday. It's going to be on ESPN. It's a big one. The Ducks trying to avenge an earlier season loss, and then a big opportunity, swing away, as Coach Altman says. Arizona, 7 o'clock on Saturday. The Ducks taking on the Wildcats, and the Wildcats might be the best team in the country. I'm saying that.
Pretty good. I've seen them, yes.
I'm saying that not just as the Pac-12 guy here, but I think they might be the best team in the country. You look at their metrics, you look at the way they're beating teams, you look at their efficiency ratings, it's pretty off the chart. So the Ducks do have their work cut out for them, but after Valentine's Day, there are very few teams in the country that have more wins than the Ducks in the last 12 years that Dane Altman's been the head coach.
And done pretty well in Tucson.
That's right. If there's one team in the Pac-12 that has done well at the McHale Center, it's Oregon over the last 12 years under Coach Altman. So a lot on the horizon. Two teams that are, right now, I think they'd be in the NCAA tournament field, Terry, for both the men and the women, but work to be done.
Oh, yeah, work to be done. Ducks got to finish this for the women. And it's weird scheduling, as we've talked about, 3 games this week, but then the Ducks play at Colorado next Wednesday.
Right.
And at Utah on Saturday. I don't know, but that's to finish the regular season. Then, of course, you have the Pac-12 tournament, and the Ducks, you just want to feel good about yourself and be on a roll going into the Pac-12 tournament, and hopefully they'll do that.
Peak at the right time.
Yep.
Peak at the right time. All right, so 3-game homestand for the women, 2-game road trip for the men. We've got Kevin McKenna, Oregon men's basketball assistant coach, coming up, and then Kelly Graves, head coach, Oregon women's basketball, on the horizon. It's Tip-Off Tuesday, back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow Duck debit card to the Duck Visa Rewards card. If you're a duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Dear winter, you can't stop a new 2022 Toyota. No matter the weather, the Camry all-wheel drive comes out to play. Snowy hills don't stand a chance against the RAV4, and everyone's comfy in the Highlander. See you in the snow. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Okay, men, this is your time. Maybe you didn't choose this, but you're here now. You're going to go out there and be an all-star caregiver. Cook, clean, be there emotionally and physically. You got to dig deeper. Drive them to physical therapy, doctor's appointments, because that's what caregivers do. Don't give up. Show the world that you're tougher than tough. Caregiving is tougher than tough. Find the care guides you need at aarp.org/caregiving. Brought to you by AARP and the Ad Council.
To some, the sound of a baby babbling doesn't mean much, but that's not true. They're testing out vowels and consonants and trying different sounds. And by 12 months, their babbling is beginning to take on meaning, especially if there's no babbling at all. Little to no babbling by 12 months or later is just one of the possible signs of autism in children. Learn more at autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
Back inside the Country Financial Studio, Joey Mack and Terry Johns. We're going to talk men's basketball first with assistant coach Kevin McKenna. Earlier today, had a great time catching up, and we actually started talking about some products because we're about to have another Team USA product.
I saw that.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. We're talking with Kevin McKenna earlier today.
Coach, I want to start with something before we get to last night and the trip ahead. This is cool coming out today. A Products note for you. Jordan Bell is going to be playing for Team USA on the 2021 World Cup qualifying team. Training camp starting on the 18th. Pretty cool, huh, that he's playing in the, and I said 21, the 22 World Cup qualifying team. But I think it's been one of those odd things with COVID, K-Mac, as years are getting moved around. Roster management is really tough, but he's a pro duck, and he gets to play for Team USA. Jordan Bell, that's pretty darn cool.
Yeah, it is. It's an awesome opportunity for Jordan to not only play for Team USA, but also, to get some visibility, maybe with some foreign pro teams and NBA teams. And Jordan's a good basketball player. He's got really good instincts, and he's a really good rebounder, defender, shot blocker, and probably will fit in good with that team, putting some scores around him, kind of like he had going with us and with Golden State when he was there.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. How much do you guys stay in touch with all the products, K-Mac? I mean, you guys are in season when they're in season, but it's always cool to keep track of some of these guys.
Yeah, we follow them pretty close, and it's pretty cool to watch their success and watch them grow as pros. And, Garrett Sims doing really well in Turkey. His mom was texting me this morning about his experience here and how he's doing over in Turkey. And I follow him, you can follow these guys pretty easy now on Instagram and stuff. And, And Garrett's having a really good year, and was talking with Chris Duarte last night after our game. He was watching our game, and knows and talks to our guys that he was with last year. And Chris he injured his big toe, so he's going to be out for a while. He's not going to be able to play in that Rising Star All-Star game. I think he's going to go home and see his family for a while in the Dominican Republic. But just always great to hear from those guys, and again. Feel like a good connection was made when you do stay in touch with these guys and see their success.
Yeah, that's so cool to see it. Nice that Chris gets to go see his family, but man, would have loved to see him in that Rising Stars game because he's had a pretty great start to the season. Real quick, the qualifying rounds for that Team USA roster started in 21. They're continuing in 22 for this February window, and Jordan Bell's going to be a part of it. So I don't know. Years blend together. They run together. I lose track of what year it is. Coach, last night, you guys got a chance to play Washington State in that makeup game, and I'm just going to say one word, and then I'm going to let you run with it. Phew.
Yeah. I think we were up 9 with like 24 seconds to go or something like that, and decided we didn't want to finish it off with making some free throws, and made it interesting there at the end and made sure everybody stayed till the final buzzer. But we do have to do a better job of finishing, and we do have to do a better job of being under control and not panicking and not rushing things and getting sped up at the end of games and just, letting them foul you. We got timeouts if you need one. We talk about all those things during our timeouts, and we just got to take better care of the ball and got to figure out a way to make our free throws at the end. And, we had 2 of our better guys at the free throw line, and we just didn't convert. And, they hit a couple shots. That's kind of what Washington State does. They shoot a ton of threes. I think they shot 30 some of them last night. And we guarded the three-point line pretty well, and we guarded the basket pretty well, and just had some lapses here and there that kept them in the game.
They took 33 threes, which is pretty on brand for them, because I was talking with Coach Altman about this, K-Mac. They've attempted in one less game entering play last night more than 100 threes more than you guys on the season. I mean, it's a different style of play, right?
Yeah, I think they're one of those real analytical teams where when you watch them play and you watch enough film of them, they shoot threes, layups, and lobs. That's what they get. They shoot very few pull-up jumpers, very few mid-range jumpers. They're one of those NBA analytics teams that really looks for those threes, and if they're hot, they're tough to beat.
Yeah, and they've got the best defense entering play last night in the Pac-12, which has been something to watch, and you guys were able to beat them. Coach, you mentioned some of the problems that you guys have had with late-game situations. How difficult is it to work on those late-game situations, and anything for that matter, when you guys are playing so many games in consecutive days? Kind of take fans through the coaching mentality of that, when it's such a delicate balance, right, to have limited practice, and you don't want to overwork players because then there's games. You know what I'm getting at, Coach, is how do you guys do that?
Well, it's hard, like you said, right now. We just got done with our 3rd game in 5 days, so there wasn't much practice in between. It was more game prep for the opponent, and going over their offenses and defenses and what they like to do and where they want to go with the ball, and player tendencies and things like that. So it's really hard to work on, press offense and adding things and getting guys work, because you want to save them for the games, because we got pretty extended in that Cal game when we pressed the whole game, and we played guys a lot of minutes trying to get back into that one. But for the most part, I think coaches, we've really, as a staff and as a philosophy, really kind of backed off this time of year and not practiced as much, so we can save our energy for the games. And with COVID this year and having some makeup games, it's kind of compacted that into even a more tight window to play these games. And we're trying to manage as best we can, and we got through it with 2 out of 3 this past week, and hopefully we can go on the road and play well this week.
Yeah, 5 games in 10 days with that Arizona trip coming up. But the message from Coach Altman last night was getting tougher. Coach, I mean, it's so easy to say get tougher, but it's harder to coach. What are the coaching strategies when you're talking about you want a team to just get a little bit tougher down the stretch?
Well, for one, rebounding, our numbers, defensive rebounding, aren't very good. And I know we start 3 guards, and that's part of it. But, we chart blockouts, and our goal is to, get a 70% blockout rate or 72% blockout rate. And we're not even remotely close to that. And really all we're asking our guys to do is go hit somebody and beat. And that's part of the toughness thing, the mental toughness to remind yourself to do the little things that add up to, the outcome sometimes. And giving up 22 offensive rebounds. Again, they're shooting a lot of threes. They're chasing them down. We didn't, block out enough to limit that number. And, they're going to get some. It's just going to happen. But 22 is way too many. And giving them all those offensive rebounds kept them in the game for sure.
That continues to be a problem for the Ducks. As we continue our conversation with Coach Kevin McKenna, we're going to look ahead a little bit more with him. His scout is Arizona State. He's looking into the Sun Devils getting ready for that Thursday matchup. More to come. It's Tip-Off Tuesday. Back after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's time to play Perfect Food Pairings, brought to you by Mountain Dew. This dish pairs perfectly with the bold citrus kick of Mountain Dew.
Oh, street tacos.
Sorry, that is not the answer we're looking for.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Sorry, that is also not the answer.
What the heck?
Is it chicken wings? Correct.
What? Wait a second.
Yeah, hold on. Mountain Dew pairs perfectly with street tacos.
And Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
The show is so lame.
The show is not lame.
Yeah, you're lame.
Nothing pairs perfectly with food like Mountain Dew. Do the Dew.
Watch Will Smith in action as the father of two of the world's most gifted athletes in King Richard, now available at Redbox. Based on the inspiring true story of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams, Smith portrays Richard Williams, an undeterred father driven by a clear vision and unconventional coaching methods that took his daughters from the streets of Compton, California to the global stage as legendary icons. This profoundly moving film shows the power of family, perseverance, and unwavering belief as a means to achieve the impossible and impact the world. Watch King Richard and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
This is Tip Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
It's 4 a.m., Monday, and you're literally sucking baby snot through a tube because she's congested. Man, that's love. And if you love her that much, love her enough to make sure she's buckled in the right car seat. To make sure your child's in the right seat for their age and size, visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Show them you love them. Keep them safe. Visit nhtsa.gov/the right seat. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council.
America, your children have an amazing superpower. They can help save lives by not having play dates. That's right. By replacing get-togethers with virtual play dates and video chats, they can help slow the evil spread of germs. And if your superheroes do go outside, make sure they continue their superhero wing by staying 6 feet away from others to protect everyone in America land. Find out more at coronavirus.gov. A message from the CDC and the Ad Council.
Back on Tip-Off Tuesday in the Country Financial Studio. He's Terry Johns. I'm Joey Mack. We got Kelly Graves coming up, and we'll continue our conversation with men's basketball assistant coach Kevin McKenna. The Ducks, a big road trip to Arizona, 6 games left, and still a chance to get better. And one of the things that we'll talk about is they've had a lot of success after Valentine's Day. We know that. So how does this team continue that theme of this Oregon men's basketball program? Our conversation with Kevin McKenna, part 2.
Talking about Arizona State, you guys did play them, and remember, fans, it's that 20-game schedule now, so there's 2 games in December before Christmas that are conference games. Arizona State, one of them. Feels like a long time ago, and, Coach, it feels like you guys are a different team. Feels like they're maybe a different team, but what were your takeaways from the first matchup with Arizona State, and what's a little bit of the scouting report now on the Sun Devils in round 2?
Well, again, they're similar to Washington State. They shoot a lot of threes. They rely on that a lot. We didn't shoot the ball very well against them. I think, looking back, and I just went over my notes from that game, we were 4 for 22 from 3 in that game. And I charted 12 wide open ones where there wasn't even anybody near our shooters. So we didn't shoot it very well that game. We lost by 2 in overtime. They hit a big 3 at the end. And we just got to do a better job again of making shots for each other, moving the ball better, finding their guys that really like to shoot the threes and make them hit tough ones. And swing away on the defensive end and not give up those offensive rebounds. They're not a real physical team, but they're a long and athletic team that can get in there and get some tip dunks and second chances if you don't hit them.
It's 6 o'clock on Thursday, ESPN for the TV broadcast, 5:30 pregame show with myself here on the Oregon Sports Network. I want to ask you about a couple of individuals, Coach. And, Will Richardson, I feel like, is a guy who is the definition of can impact the game when he doesn't score. He can rebound. He can turn some guys over. He has always high assist numbers. He's one of the top 10 in the league in assists. But in the last two games prior to last night, he hadn't scored in the first half, then kind of got it going in the second half for you guys. And then he ends up last night scoring 7 points, but boy, did he hit a big three to extend that lead to 9 late in the game. Just where's Will Richardson at right now, and what's the next step in his development, Coach? What do you guys want to see from him down the stretch?
Well, we've been kind of prepping him that, he's going to face the other team's best defender every game. Last year, their best perimeter defender was always on Chris Duarte. And now Will's seeing that guy. And a lot of times they got a strong, athletic, guy that's guarding him and trying to keep the ball out of his hands. And so Will's got to keep working hard to try to get the ball. He's got to keep executing. He's got to keep doing what he's good at doing, and that's getting to the paint and creating for himself and other guys. And he's just got to. I keep telling him all the time during timeouts, stay aggressive, Will. Where do you want the ball, Will? I try to ask him, what's comfortable for him, because a lot of times we as coaches, and I trust Will's basketball acumen in that. Where do you want to get the ball? Where do you feel like you can make a good play? Because we want our guys to be confident in that, and so we're always talking during timeouts and when he's on the bench or whatever about those types of things. So Will's a really good player, and he's just got to continue to stay focused. When guys are getting after him, he's got to figure out a way to impact the game.
You and I talked last time, Coach, about his 3-point shooting and how maybe you guys wanted him to be a little more aggressive and take those threes a little more often. He's been first or second in the league in 3-point field goal shooting percentage really all season long. Have you liked his aggressiveness and his shot selection over the last few weeks, and can he get better at that down the stretch?
Yeah, a couple of games ago, he drove inside and missed a couple short ones and that were wide open. He just missed them. And then he took a couple of really deep ones and he didn't connect. And then I think, his want to go shoot some more kind of went down a little bit because he wasn't feeling like he could make anything. So just kept telling him to be aggressive, get in the paint, make your plays. He made a few more plays in that Stanford game and finished some good plays inside and hit a couple shots on the perimeter. So, again, we just want him to continue to be aggressive and continue to try to do those types of things. And if he's got an open shot, we definitely want him to take it.
We've seen Davion Harmon fill it up for you guys a few times, Coach. Just how valuable has his quick step been and his development as a scorer as another option for you guys here down the stretch?
He's been good. He's a hard-working player. He's a competitor. He's a really good defender, and he's stepped up and made some shots for us and continues to work hard on his game. When we're not practicing, he's in there shooting a lot on his own, and those types of efforts and those type of things are stuff that we need from our players for sure.
I'd be remiss if I didn't ask you at least a little bit about the big men, and especially from a guard's perspective, Coach, since I know you're working with the guards a lot. How nice is it to have guys like Dante that, if you get them the ball, they're going to be able to do something around the basket? Just the benefit of having big men that can perform like they've been performing.
Yeah, they both played good last night. We got some good production out of them. I don't know how many points and rebounds. I think it was more than a double-double because I know Dante had a double-double himself, and Frank had 4 block shots and was really active on defense. Had one minor lapse when he got switched onto a guard, but for the most part was hustling and really trying, took a charge. Frank's effort level is as good as anybody I think we've ever had, and you just hope those types of things are contagious within your team. And Frank is all about the team. He wants to do well for himself, but he's also a great contributor when he's on the sidelines. So, getting production out of our big guys usually opens up some opportunities on the perimeter. There's a little bit more focus on trying to stop them inside. And if they've got room to operate, if our guys are hitting in the outside and those guys are scoring on the inside, that's when we're usually our best.
And Foley and Frank combined for 22 points on 10 of 15 shooting, 12 rebounds, 5 blocks. I think you'll take that over the course of a game.
Absolutely. That's really good production out of those guys. And, I think Dante got his first shot blocked, and we had talked about, Washington State's got a couple really athletic dudes in there, and they really try to block everything. And if you pump fake them, they'll jump to the moon, and you can get free throws or get them off balance so you can get an easier shot. And that's kind of what we did after that first one they blocked.
Well, Coach, it's no secret that this is a big road trip coming up. Feels like everything's kind of playoff basketball at this point. You guys are playing meaningful games in the month of February. And, well, you guys have also, in your tenure here, Coach, been really successful after Valentine's Day. So with that context in mind, what have been the keys to success for late season success for this program? And what are the keys here down the stretch for this team to continue that late season success?
Well, our players have always been competitive to step up and do the things that we need to do to win, and be coachable, be good teammates, play hard, follow the scouting report, play within the team framework, make plays for each other. All those types of things add up. And the main thing is those teams in the past, they all wanted it. And the hope is that these guys are going to figure it out and come together and make a good, last 6 games in conference tournament and see where we can end up.
Trip to the desert coming up. Coach McKenna, I can't thank you enough for taking the time and chatting with us, educating us on a little bit about basketball and beyond. And, hey, best of luck out there. I'll see you on the tarmac, all right, Coach?
All right. See you, Joey. Thanks.
Ducks traveling to Arizona here tomorrow. Arizona State, the opponent, on Thursday at 6 o'clock, then 7 o'clock against Arizona. The Ducks on the road to the desert, and it's a big week with just 6 regular season games left for Oregon men's basketball. Now, women's basketball, they're back at home tomorrow.
Yeah, Coach McKenna, he's got an NBA championship ring, doesn't he?
He does, from the Lakers.
Has he ever shown it to you?
No.
Oh.
That's in a safety deposit box, I hope, somewhere
I was
special.
just wondering. I was just thinking that.
No, I've never seen it.
I remember that. Yeah, he was a heck of a player. All right, women's basketball coming up next. Kelly Graves, got a chance to talk with him earlier today. He's Kelly Graves. Enjoy. It's coming up next after this on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Once a duck, always a duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow Duck debit card to the Duck Visa Rewards card. If you're a Duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/Go Ducks.
Ready to get back in the game? Great news. The movement experts at Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists can help you find relief and results and keep you off the sidelines. With 15 convenient locations across Portland, contact Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists today at proactivepts.com to see a physical therapist. Proactive Physical Therapy Specialists, a proud partner of Oregon Athletics and trusted choice for keeping Duck fans in the game.
This is the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
When might you be buzzed? When you suddenly love everything.
You guys, I love this song. I love these nachos. I love our kickball league. Ugh! I love this guy. What's your name? You know what I'd love? A ride when it's time to head out.
If you see a buzzed warning sign, call for a ride when it's time to go home. Buzz driving is drunk driving. A message from NHTSA and the Ad Council.
I love your car. Is this real leather?
Hey, so what's a great way to spread awareness that driving high is illegal everywhere? A catchy song, of course.
You can run, but you can't drive high. You can run, but you can't drive high.
Friendly reminder, don't drive high. If you feel different, you drive different. Brought to you by NHTSA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday, Terry and Joey, and let's talk women's basketball. The Ducks 2-1 since we last talked here on this show. Got a chance to talk with Kelly Graves earlier today. Brought to you by Toyota. Let's go places. Let's hear from KG. Well, Coach, since we talked this time a week ago, 2-1. 1, 2 out of 3, but that last one kind of bugged you. But let's go back to Washington State. We left for Washington State after the show, and maybe the best performance of the season against a very good team in Pullman.
Oh, no doubt. Yeah, no doubt. Historic on the defensive end. I think they only shot, less than 20% from the field.
17.5, yep.
Scored 30 points. We did a great job there. Offensively, the ball was moving. We shot it well. We just played, like you said, a great game against a really good team on the road. It was funny, the net, they really take efficiency into account because we had jumped from 13-7 after that game. It was crazy that one game this late in the season would have that kind of an impact. But it was a really good game, and then obviously we backed it up 2 days later with a good road win at Oregon State. So 2 really good road wins against NCAA tournament teams, NCAA tournament caliber, and then to let down on Sunday like we did. So it was a good week and a bad week.
The game on Sunday, not to dwell on that, but let's go there. I know you, that one hurt. That hurt in a lot of ways. I mean, like you said, it was 3 steps forward, 2 steps back, and that's kind of what happened.
It's kind of been our season.
Yeah.
That's kind of who we are. I think people still forget we're a young team. We're still trying to find our way and get better and be more consistent, and it reared its ugly head, after a good road win against that same team 2 nights later to come back and struggle like we did, shooting the ball mainly. I mean, we obviously took care of it and then just got pounded on the glass, which is – I still don't get that, actually. But it comes from missing shots. I mean, it's not like they hurt us on the offensive glass. They just if you're only shooting 36%, you're not going to win many games, and that's been a concern. I think we've shot under 40% maybe 4 of the last 5 games.
Yeah,
got to make baskets in the end. Now, can we help them get easier baskets, easier looks? Yes, but I think if as I look at our shot profile, we're getting pretty good shots.
Yeah.
We're just not making them.
Yeah. Is it just a matter of moving the ball? I mean, that's you probably move the ball as well as you have against Washington State. Got good shots, shot a pretty good percentage. And it just seemed like on Sunday it got stuck a little bit a few times again, and then you don't get as good of shots, and you got good shots, but not all the time, and maybe you rush just a fraction, and you miss. I don't know. I guess I'm searching too.
Yeah, it's I don't think we moved the ball as much as we did. I think on Sunday we ran just kind of some side ball screens and some pin downs. And we were trying to get those shots right at the elbow, right at the free throw line. And for the most part, we got the ones we wanted. Again, they just didn't make it. And then the 3-point looks, I thought, were by and large pretty good. 4 for 21. Yeah. I mean, I could shoot with my eyes closed and left-handed and make 4 for 21 without defense around. But it's just – so I don't know. I think it's just when you're making those shots, then it becomes contagious. And right now I think everybody's struggling a little bit from the field.
Defensive-wise, though, pretty good.
Solid. Yeah, solid. It comes and goes. We haven't really put 40 minutes together outside of maybe the Washington State game. And we just got to continue to work at being more consistent there. But, yeah, that has not been the problem. I think our defensive numbers, given the way we play the game, are actually relatively good. But yeah, it's been lately coming down to just shooting and just the inconsistency of our field goal percentage.
I ask you this because I have some fans asking me, and you've addressed it, I think, in our pregame talks in the Toyota Coaches Corner, but some fans say, we're looking tired. We're looking tired. Are we playing too many games? And I know we talked about the Wednesday practices that you normally have are pretty tough, but is that a problem?
Well, yeah. Yeah, I guess.
But is every team tired this time of year?
To some degree, yeah, some degree. I don't think that. If I thought we looked tired, then we would do something about it. But it is difficult. It's not like you can run them hard the day before a game.
Right.
or the day after a game, because the day after a game is the day before the next game, the way this is doing. Yeah, there's some validity in that observation, though, to be honest with you. I think this will be our third straight week of 3 games in a week. That's a lot. And that's on me. You know, the Pac-12 had a rule that said they wouldn't allow teams to play 3 games in back-to-back weeks. But we were down like 5 games, and so I thought, you know what? We'll play. Schedule the game, we'll play. Looking back, going, maybe we need some lab time, some time in the gym to, practice hard and things like that. But I don't think conditioning's a factor.
Yeah, and at that time, I think when those decisions were made, you were on an 8-game winning streak. It seemed like the more this team played, the better it was getting.
Yeah. Isn't that funny how that works? And nobody complained about that. Now suddenly you lose a couple, and wow, we look tired. That's the way it goes. It's a season of ups and downs. That's what happens, and and people tend to overreact one way or another. We probably weren't paying attention to the details like we should have during the 8-game winning streak, and now we're probably overanalyzing the reason we're losing, a couple of these games. But we're still in second place.
Yeah.
We've set the bar so high that if we do lose a game that maybe we either weren't expected to or, whatever, people get pretty, worked up about it. It's like we've really set a high bar for ourselves.
Yeah, I had to tell somebody that the other day. You do realize this team is in second place in the conference now. It was like it finally registered that they just don't like the way things are happening. It didn't win every game, but it's kind of crazy. But, we love fans.
We do. Yeah, we do.
Coach, one thing I wanted to take people into maybe a little bit of insight of what you go through, because I know after a tough loss, I kind of know to maybe give you some room. And I think all coaches are like this. You got to process it, don't you, before you decide what you need to do to go forward.
Oh, yeah, no question. That's why it's difficult to or it's hard to not overreact in the moment. And sometimes you do as a coach. Maybe go in the locker room and you're really honest. But after you break down, here's after 35 years of coaching, I've coached well over 1,000 games total, almost 900 now as a head coach. The game's never quite as bad as you thought, nor is it quite as good as you thought. After you watch the film, it usually comes down to a couple of mistakes, turnovers perhaps, and then shooting percentage. That's usually what it comes down to. But the effort is usually about the same. There are outliers, of course, both ways, but that's usually the same. The execution, for the most part, is the same. It comes down to usually those two factors. So that's why you don't want to overreact.
All right, there you go. Part 1 of the Toyota Kelly Graves interview. Part 2 coming up next on Tip-Off Tuesday on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
You know that sound anywhere. It's the crisp crunch of that first nacho chip. With its perfect cheese to sour cream ratio sitting atop a layer of delicious beans, it's a sip away from perfection. That's what we're looking for. Add a delicious, refreshing Pepsi and we've achieved absolute nacho nirvana. Because while you can pile those nachos high with every spicy, cheesy, savory topping, there's no topping a cool Pepsi finish. Nachos, better with Pepsi. That's what I like.
Watch Will Smith in action as the father of 2 of the world's most gifted athletes in King Richard, now available at Redbox. Based on the inspiring true story of tennis legends Venus and Serena Williams, Smith portrays Richard Williams, an undeterred father driven by a clear vision and unconventional coaching methods that took his daughters from the streets of Compton, California to the global stage as legendary icons. This profoundly moving film shows the power of family, perseverance, and unwavering belief as a means to achieve the impossible and impact the world. Watch King Richard and make it a Redbox night. Visit redbox.com for all the ways to watch.
You're listening to Ducks Basketball on the Oregon Sports Network from Learfield.
Jill, why don't you tell the class what you did this weekend?
Well, my dad and I went in search of some magical minnows and found a zillion of them in the stream from our lookout rock. Then my sister and I escaped from an evil slug king and went back to my super twig fort for safety. Then we told stories till it got dark, and the Big Dipper led us all the way home.
Wow. Where were you, Jill?
We went to the forest. It's not that far away.
Ask your parents to take you and your friends to the forest this week. It's closer than you think. Check out discovertheforest.org. Brought to you by the U.S. Forest Service and the Ad Council.
If a natural disaster comes knocking, how prepared is your family? You can't just close the door on earthquakes, floods, or hurricanes and hope they go away. That's why it's important to make a plan now. Ready.gov/plan has the tools and tips you need to prepare your family for an emergency. So if disaster shows up at your doorstep, you'll be ready. Visit ready.gov/plan and make a plan today. Brought to you by FEMA and the Ad Council.
Welcome back to Tip-Off Tuesday. Terry Johns, Joey Mack, women's basketball after the Ducks went 2-1. Their last 3 games, and tomorrow, 4 o'clock tip-off against UCLA at Matthew Knight Arena. Let's continue with head coach Kelly Graves and part 2. Yeah, we talked about this last week, and, the players, I think they move on a little quicker than we all do as adults, but not that they're not adults, they're young adults, but what's the psyche of them? I feel like they feel pretty good about themselves, but I can't tell. What do you see?
It's really funny. I'm going to say opposite. I think this team really takes it hard. I think they do. I think that, and that's a good sign. I think they're really competitive, and that's kind of what I think too hard. I think we do need to move on from it. I think tomorrow's game against UCLA is going to be an important game for us to see if we have, again, that bounce-back mentality we did last Wednesday after a tough trip to the desert. Let's see if we can do that now again against UCLA. But, yeah, I think we have some players who understand that they're not playing well. So they're taking it hard. Those are the players that, in the end are going to be your big-time players because they're never satisfied. Even on the victories. So we'll see. This is a big week for us. No question about it. 2 weekends left, big guy.
I know.
It's crazy.
Well, next week's not even a weekend. It's a Wednesday game in Colorado and Saturday in Utah. I don't know why that's that way, but why is it?
Because you can't play on Sunday in Utah. Come on now. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. BYU can't, but Utah can.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I saw that this guess. I'm like, what? Okay. So it turns around pretty quickly. Interesting you say that about the players. It just kind of brought to mind last year when I would do the player interviews and on Zoom and talk to them a little bit, before we started recording. And I could tell most of the freshmen coming in, they expected to come in and pick right up where Sabrina, Ruthie, that group left off. And I had to tell them, I'm like, look, they took their lumps. You look back at some scores, they took some lumps too, so don't let it bother you. There's just a process you got to go through.
Yeah, and it's great that they came in with those kind of expectations, but you're right. They didn't do it. Sabrina and Ruthie and that crew had to go through it together. And, people forget that first year we were 8-10 in conference play.
Yep.
And not even a winning record, and got in as a 10 seed, and then obviously got hot and won some games. And that propelled us, I think, then to the 3 straight championships. And even that, we took some lumps here and there. It just happens. So I can't overreact. We just have to stay the course and continue to get better and better and better. And I still believe that, we've put ourselves into a position to have a good seed in the NCAA tournament. And we've shown that once you're in, regardless of your seed, you can win. Personally, I think I've won 8 games in the NCAA tournament as a double-digit seed. I don't think any coach has ever done that.
Right.
So it doesn't bother me personally. I think we just want to be playing good ball at that time and kind of figure out. We'd played well at Washington State, so we went with Sedona in the starting lineup, right? Because Niara didn't play. Well, we stuck with her and played pretty well at Corvallis, stuck with it again, and now I might change back because, obviously Niara is one of our best players, so you want her in that starting lineup. So we're still trying to figure all this stuff out.
Yeah.
And we hope to here pretty quick because we only got a few weeks left in this season.
You mentioned Niara, and for people who didn't get to hear the Toyota Coaches Corner, I think it was Sunday, and we talked a little bit about Niara, and I thought you had an interesting comment about just think what she could be, excuse me, if she was healthy, could work out, get in the weight room, practice as much as need to be, what she could do, because she's doing it without practicing quite a bit.
Yeah, she's just unfortunately her body doesn't allow her to go through a grueling practice each and every day, and that's where you get better. I mean, it's just the case, and so what you see on game days is basically she's not doing much in between those games. She's doing some.
Yeah,
I don't want to make it out like she's in a wheelchair or something, just sitting around, but. And so that's going to affect her timing, and when that's affected, then your consistency is affected.
Yeah, you go up against 6'9" Mitrovic, and you haven't done it.
Yeah, exactly.
Nope, not many people have. That was pretty impressive by her, but it did bother Niara.
It did. Yeah, she still needed to go to her a little bit.
Yeah.
I think kept trying to kind of finesse something over the top of her, and is what it is.
All right, 3 games coming up. You mentioned UCLA tomorrow, 4 o'clock tip-off, by the way, fans. And then 7 against Cal on Friday. Pink out, right, by the way, awareness for breast cancer. And then Sunday, it's number 2 in the country, Stanford coming.
Number 2 in the country, and I think it's important that somebody beats them. I don't think it makes your conference look good when somebody can go undefeated through conference play. I don't know how many other opportunities they have to lose. Obviously, you can lose any game, but I think that's a game that we obviously really want. We can't look past the others to get there. I personally, I'm going to be rolling in around game time because I'm going to go up Saturday to Gonzaga. It's Will's senior night, and there's no way I'm going to miss that.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to miss practice Saturday, and then. There's not a lot of transportation between here and Spokane, so it might be an all-night drive.
Oh.
But I'll get here before game time. Hey, you know what? It might be a good thing or a bad thing. I don't know. Somebody might say, hey, I hope he breaks down in the Dalles. But, family first, big guy.
Yeah.
I don't care who you're playing. There's some things in life that you just don't miss, and senior night for your kid is one of them.
You've always been like that. You're a good father. You're 3 boys, and I've always appreciated that. The 8 years that you've been here, I've appreciated that about you. And you always on Father's Day send me a text, "Hey, happy Father's Day," and we share that, and it's important.
Yeah, no, I know you're a good dad too. Yeah, fatherhood's not easy. Nope. I think the mothers have it the worst, but it's not a piece of cake for us all the time either.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Hey,
okay, buddy.
Thanks for coming in. I know you got practice here shortly. So
yeah. Let's get ready for the UCLA Bruins.
Yeah, the Bruins. By the way, I did want to ask you though, how did that all happen to schedule that game? It's a non-conference game, by the way.
Yeah, I think we both wanted it because we weren't playing each other. It was only a one-time deal, right? We were only scheduled to play them the one time. We recruit against each other. I think there was some blowback for when they canceled, when they forfeited the game. They received some blowback from that, and so I think they let the Pac-12 know, hey, we want to play the game, even though it's decided this is a non-conference game. It does not count in the conference standings, and we okayed it. I said, sure, we want to play. Again, we didn't want to lose a home game, and a home game against a really good team. So, so the Pac-12 put it together.
Yep. All right, fans, show up big time tomorrow and this weekend. Thanks, Coach.
Okay, thanks, Derek.
There you go, head coach Kelly Graves, Toyota. Kelly Graves interview, and kind of interesting. The UCLA game tomorrow, I hadn't thought about that angle. They do recruit against each other.
Sure.
You're recruiting players down in California, and it helps the Ducks.
It does.
To play them and hopefully defeat them.
Well, then it helps Oregon when you defeat them, and helps UCLA when they beat Oregon, but I don't want to think
that's not going to happen.
No, I don't want to.
No, that's not going to happen.
I started thinking about it from the opposite perspective when you were saying that. I thought, nah.
Yeah, don't think. No, we're not thinking that way. No.
It is odd though with it being the non-conference game, right? So it affects the net. It affects your conference as a whole, but also your individual tournament resume.
Yeah.
But the conference standings are that the Ducks are sitting in second place.
Yeah, although the biggest one is Sunday.
Yeah.
But you got to win 2 to get there, but to make that one really mean something against Stanford. Defending national champions and number 2 in the country. And, boy, talk about a team that's just gotten better and better as the season's gone along. They are so efficient, and the Ducks are going to have to play well and play better than they have been at times. But at times, you look at the Ducks and you're going, they can take that defense, take that, and you can go play anybody. But then at other times you go, well, who are we?
I'm going to put you on the spot because I'm about to put myself on the spot.
Okay.
So Oregon right now, I think it's safe to say they're outside of the top 25 for the first time in a while. They are probably not one of the top 16 seeds after this weekend, even though they were number 16 prior to the weekend.
Yep.
What's it going to take for Oregon to be hosting the NCAA tournament? Where does it stack up down the stretch? What are the key games? What are the key things?
Well, to be sure, you have 5 games left. You have to win them all. Anything less than that,
you're rolling the dice.
Yeah, I think. You got to think Oregon's favored against everybody but Stanford.
Yep.
Even on the road against Utah and Colorado.
And then who knows what happens in the tournament?
Well, yeah, right. Then you have the Pac-12 tournament too before the
and hoping maybe you get
selection.
Arizona again.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think they would like that. There's quite a rivalry going on right now, and it's kind of fun. 2 good programs that you want to add. That's good.
Well, hey, look,
that's healthy.
That's probably the biggest rival for Oregon men's basketball over the last few years.
Yeah, and it's easy for the Tucson to Vegas, a little bit easier for them to get there. But although there's a nice, comfortable flight to Las Vegas from Eugene.
And on the men's side, it's interesting. That has been the big rivalry. But, of course, Coach Altman and Coach Miller were 2 of the longest tenured on the men's side. Yeah. Now it's a new coach in Tommy Lloyd at Arizona. Going to be the first time we see his style of play coming up this weekend, Saturday, 7 o'clock. And so the reason I put you on the spot is that's how I was going to close the show today is the men have 6 regular season games left. I think you can't afford to lose to Arizona State. They already beat you once. And you can say, well, it was early in the season. Ducks were a little banged up. Different team now, okay? You got to go on the road.
Prove it, though.
Yeah, got to prove it. Exactly. Oregon, big opportunity against Arizona for the men. If they're able to get that win, I think that the Ducks feel pretty good about themselves going down the stretch, but they've got to then maintain the consistency. For both programs, consistency has been what they've been searching for all season long, it feels like. That's been sort of the story of the year. And so, then for the men, I think it's huge after this trip to Arizona. They've got a tremendous opportunity ahead of them to get some wins in games at home that could really mean something because they've got UCLA, then they've got USC. And then you travel to the state of Washington. Can't afford to lose those games. Those are teams that even though they're above 500 in conference play, and the Ducks just had a really close one against Washington State, you can't afford to lose those games. I honestly believe that especially talking about efficiency ratings, Terry, and how that factors into the net on the men's side, I think the Ducks could afford to lose maybe 1 or 2 games and still get into the tournament. But they got to be to the right teams, and how you lose matters, right? It's not just win or lose. It's how you win or lose that really matters these days.
But you said the word. I've heard from Coach Graves many times, consistency.
Well, here's to some consistency. Best of luck to Oregon
Consistency.
Women. Yeah. Hey, best of luck tomorrow. 4 o'clock tip.
You
for
too,
the
buddy.
women.
Go Ducks.
See ya.
Once a Duck, always a Duck. That's OCCU. Since 1956, OCCU has been the credit union serving the University of Oregon community. From the bright yellow Duck debit card to the Duck Visa Rewards card. If you're a Duck, you belong at OCCU, where you'll find fewer fees, higher savings rates, and lower rates on loans, and lots of fellow Duck fans. Go Ducks. Join OCCU. Learn more at myoccu.org/